Hello. Oh my god, this is like my first ever vlog. I don't know what this is. This is like a video. How's the lighting? So, we're going to discuss a lot today. We're going to discuss how last night I got denied at an influencer event. It's pretty humbling, I guess you could say. We're going to also talk about how I think my acupuncturist is getting a little creepy. We're going to talk about inflation. God, we have a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about how LA has become like, why you should never live in LA, why it's like the grossest city to live in. Do not live in LA. Talk about comedy open mics. And we're going to talk about escape rooms. I could escape. If only I could escape the escape room, that would have been a better time than the actual escape room. So, where do we want to start? Okay. So, let's start with the influencer event. I have my little notepad of all the things I want to discuss with you. Also, how do I look? I mean, I made myself presentable for you. Been hiking, so oh, look at those suckers. But are those like old woman arms, or is that like actually good? I don't know. That looks like, oh my god, it looks like those old women that like show off how fit they are, but by their like saggy face, you're like, oh no, you still have like an old woman body. Okay. Anyway, so the influencer event. So I got invited to this influencer event, and I was like, okay, I'll go. Like, I didn't, I'm not like, I guess I am an influencer. I feel like I'm more of a content creator, stand up comedian than like telling you like the swipe up links. Do you know what I mean? I had been to influencer events before, and I always thought they were like fine. Like, honestly, they just look cooler when like through the phone. Like, I went to one like 7 years ago for curly hair, obviously for this brand, and I'll never forget that certain people only talked to the same people who had like the same amount of followers as them. So it was like all the people that had 100,000 followers like were over there, and they wouldn't look at the people that had 50,000 followers. And at the time, I only had like 7,000 followers. Okay, but because of my humor, I made it to like the 50,000 follower group. And all the girls there were so annoying. And this was like before influencers like really like blew up. There was this one girl who had like, not even kidding you, like 500,000 followers. This was like 7 years ago. And when you got to this event, it was for curly hair. So they had like a photographer and like a wind machine, and you would take these like slow-mo photos of yourself to hopefully like post about it. If you ever see like the Emmys, it's kind of similar to that, where they like the celebrities do like the slow-mo photo shoot. And there was this one girl, and she was like, no, like, I'm literally so nervous. Like, she's standing in front of the photographer. Again, this girl has 500,000 followers on Instagram. All of her photos of her like modeling. Okay, now you're telling me you're nervous, but then, okay, the moment the camera turned on, she was like, no. And then she was like, ooh, did you hear that? Crack my back. She knew her angles. Okay, so I'm just saying a lot of these things are really like fake. So, but the event I got invited to was at the restaurant Tao. If you don't know, it's in LA and New York, and it's a very trendy restaurant. I went once when I was like 20 years old to try to get in and have a drink. I think I got in, and then the drink was like $22. So the drink was $22 like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. It was probably like $40. So I knew I was excited for the event because I was like, I'm going to get some like free sushi all day. I just kept thinking about, I really want sushi. And the thought of getting it for free, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the Jewishness / influencer inside of me. I would say it's like 10% the influencer in me, 90% the Jewish in me. was so excited about knowing about the free food I was gonna get. Like the spicy salmon roll, and I could just like, when you know you're gonna get sushi, you can like taste the crunch in your mouth. So I'm so excited. I get dressed up. It said show up between 5 to 8. Okay, I was like, well, I don't want to show up early, and I wore like a really expensive like white dress. It was very like 70s. If you go on my Instagram, you can see it. And I'm really excited. It's like 5 minutes away from my house. Was a blessing, okay? I get there and I go to the bouncer and I'm like, hi, I'm here for the event. I put on like my best like influencer voice and like I'm like, hi. Like I seem like a little more dumb. I'm like, hi, here for the influencer event. And then he's like, oh, like what's the code or what's the passcode or something? And I was like, Daisy. And he was like, yes, you can go. So I was like, okay, I'm getting in. So you get into Tao, and it's, by the way, it's like 6 o'clock, and because of daylight savings, it's like light out, okay? So I walk and it's like completely dark. Like, if you ever been to like the Abercrombie and Fitch stores in the 2000s, remember how like dark it was and you couldn't see anything? So it was exactly like that. Like I could not see anything, but I saw the bar where the event was, and it was like pretty crowded, and there was like all these little booths, and they were all taken. In no way was this place like packed out, okay? And then I signed in, and they're like, oh, what's your name? And I'm like, Tori. My influencer, like, Tori. Influencer voice. And like always like floating around my phone, like, Tori. And then he goes to me, he goes, okay, let me look. And then I remember he like, his face went, oh. And then he turned to the other like check-in person and went, so right now, you're actually pending. And I was like, okay, like what does that mean? What am I pending for? Like the purchase of a house? I didn't understand pending. Like, are we playing a video game? Is this like, am I a downloaded object? You like illegally downloaded? And I was like, okay, what does that mean? She goes, well, you're pending, so you technically didn't get in. I was like, okay, so what the hell am I doing here, standing here like this? And she's like, yes, you didn't get in. We're so sorry. Did they look sorry? No, these people don't look sorry. Meanwhile, I'm like, and then my first thought, because I'm like insecure, I go, even though I didn't want to be here, my first thought was, well, did this happen to other people? And they're like, yeah, it was really bad communication. And then just like stared at me. And like I said, I'm sorry, I have an itch in my nose. In no way did this place look like packed. Like, yes, the little booths were filled, but there wasn't like thousands of people. Maybe there was like 60 people, and this is like a huge room. And I'm laughing because I'm like, only this would happen to me. This makes sense, but I'm also pissed because of the sushi. And I just really wanted that like crunchy feeling. Oh my god, I could taste it, and I'm seeing all these like influencers with their like fucking long nails, like using the chopsticks to eat, and I could just hear the crunch and like the fakeness, and I'm just so pissed that I didn't get in, and I'm also like really embarrassed. Okay, now I walk out of Tao in the broad daylight in Hollywood. Okay, and if you've never been to LA, Hollywood is like the grossest place, okay, because the sun is like extra bright, the streets are extra dirty, the people that are living on the streets, the unhoused, are like crazier in that section. I don't know why. They have like wigs on, and they're like putting on plays, or they're wearing like a belly button ring, but then they're wearing tube tops. I don't know, they all look like mix, their fashion is like mix match different eras. Okay, you've got belly button rings from 2000. You've got like a long skirt, like they're like a Victorian person. Anyway, so the whole Hollywood is like nuts. Okay, it's not a place you want to be. So I walk out there, and it's like so bright, and the bouncer, the one that let me in, where I was like, Daisy, he like looked at me, and I was like, I just like pretended to be really done, and I was like, oops, and then I just waited for my Uber, and it was just really sad. I just feel like anytime I try to be like more of like a normal girl or like a normal influencer, these things just like happen to me. So that's what happened. Am I gonna go again? And my social media manager, I texted her and I was like, because it lives in Miami, so I just was like, hey, like I actually didn't get into the event. It's so funny because I knew she thought I would think I knew she wouldn't feel like sad for me, and I literally was like, no, it's literally fine. This is like hysterical because I had gone in being like, I hope I get something out of this because I'm not one to just like post photos of like me eating sushi. Like something funny needs to happen. You know what I mean? I wore a white dress and I'm expecting my period, so that's what I was hoping for. But I got something like literally even better. So that's the influencer story. Now, guys, where did I put my... Well, at least you could see the back of my... How does the back of my hair look? God, it's so long. Should I get a haircut? Guys, I lost my little sticky note. Guys, oh my God, this is the most real part of the video. Wait, where did I put that? Oh wait, I bet it was underneath here. No, oh okay. Sorry. Found it. I don't know if I'm gonna edit this video, so you'll have to deal with it. Is the makeup too much? Do I look jungly? You know what I mean? Okay. So we talked about that. Should we talk about... Okay, let's talk about open mic. So I'm a comedian, and most of the time I'm going to shows. I go to like 3 to 4 shows a week in LA, which is like 10 shows in New York. It's harder to get stage time in LA. So, but lately I've been like really trying to work on just like a lot of new material, but about something very specific about rich people and how like I kind of grew up around that, how I grew up like upper middle class because I grew up in Manhattan. And some of it's like really hitting and some of it's like really resonating with people and some of it's not resonating with people. But it's like I'm trying to look at it like it's fun, like it's just like a piece of art that I'm like still figuring out how to craft. So I've been trying to go to mics to just like say all the stuff out that I want to say. So I went to this one mic and I was in like Santa Monica, and I like don't really go to mics anymore. I'm not like, because I'm getting on shows and usually you just try it out then, and like open mics are more when you're like first starting out. But there was a great open mic right by my house that I would go to that it was like a really good open mic audience. So to me, like this was worth going. But I had 1 week where I didn't have any shows and I really needed to get up and try this stuff out. So I went to this open mic in Santa Monica, and I get there and it's at like a British bar, and I go in the back and the mic is outside, which is just automatically like if something's outside, it's not like the best for comedy. An open mic, meaning like other comics are the audience, and being outside and drizzling, none of those mean it's going to be a good show, a good audience. You're not going to get good results from it. So I'm sitting there with my friend, and we're the only 2 girls, and there's like 20 guys, and they're all like in their like early 20s. It's so funny because now I've hit my 30s. They like, you could just tell when like boys look so young, because like a 22-year-old boy literally looked like, I don't want to say it on here because I think I might get like caught. They look super young, okay? And they're all just like laughing at shit. Like I don't understand. Like it felt like I was like in one of those like video games where you have to wear like the 911 headset. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what is, like, I don't know what is going on. Like I don't know if they're inside jokes. I don't know if it's like only jokes guys can get if they like, I don't, or like still like wetting the bed. Like I really like just didn't understand what was going on. But then my favorite part of the mic, okay, and let me just say, in the car on the way there, I was talking to my friend Sarah, and I was like, I really want to like try this stuff about how I grew up with like my babysitter growing up was Haitian. I was like, do you think I can do a Haitian accent? And she was like, no. I was like, no, I don't think so either. But like 9 years ago when I started stand up, you could do accents more because it was like, it was not considered not PC to do an accent. Okay. And like literally one of the first jokes I ever wrote, I'm going to do the accent here because I think I have a good Haitian accent. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it because I'm trying to get over the fear of not doing accents because I think I'm good at it, but maybe I'm not good at it. Okay, we'll see. So the first joke I ever wrote was I said, yeah, the way my Haitian nanny talks about Jesus the same way my mom talks about my dad. She'll be like, Daddy, I don't know where Jesus is, but I am happy. Okay, that was the first joke I ever wrote. I would literally go on stage and I would do this joke. And I would like be so good at doing the accent. I'd be like, Daddy, I don't know where Jesus is, but I am happy. I would sing a song. I was like so into it. And now I can't even like do the Haitian accent for you on camera. So I'm sitting in the car on the driving there down Santa Monica, and I'm like, do you think I can do a Haitian accent? And my friend's like, no, like it's not the times anymore. And she's like, I really want to do an Indian accent. I'm like, I know, we're like literally in the wrong time. Okay, like we need to go back to like 8 years ago when a white girl could do an Indian accent and a Haitian girl could talk about her Haitian nanny and do it. But now you can't. But at the open mic, I see this boy go up, and he's young. He's 22, but he looks like a lot younger. And he said he's in college. He's like super young, but he just had that like baby, like his skin looked like there was no wrinkles. Like he was just still playing like video games and probably still wearing like boxers, the ones that like go all the way to the knees. Like he just looked like so pure. You know what I mean? And he gets up and he's wearing, I don't know if it's a Rolex, but it's definitely like a watch he got for like his like bar mitzvah. He looked a little Jewy. I can say that because I'm a Jew. But I have a good nose. Didn't get a nose job. Anyway, so he gets up and he starts doing a joke about Socrates. Okay, now I'm lost. I took ethics, but I didn't do very well in that class. Okay, now he's talking about Socrates. And then he goes, you know, I always thought, what if Socrates was Jamaican? And he starts doing a really, I would say, decent Jamaican accent with the desire and drive. And you could just tell his deep, deep passion for that Jamaican accent. He's like, yo, boy, I got to put things up, boy. Wait, I don't know anything about Socrates, but I'm trying to think. I think things about Socrates. I don't know, just like, you do what I say, boy. Like, he was just going, like, off. And he was getting, like, really good laughs, but I think it was more like they were laughing at him. Again, I didn't understand what was going on at this boy open mic. But I could just tell between his deep desire for that Jamaican accent. You know, to place the Jamaicanness in the joke about Socrates didn't make any sense. So, and I had thought to myself, I bet you this kid was raised by a Jamaican nanny. And he had been, his comedy first started out with him practicing Jamaican accents. Do you know what I mean? And he would get big laughs, and he would do it for his parents when they would come home from their lawyer or finance job, or the mom would come home from her, like, you know, aerobics class. And he'd be like, Mom, look, I sound like Louise. Boy, you better put your laundry away, boy. And then Louise would be like, Joshua, you're so funny, Joshua. Joshua, I love you, Joshua. I love you like Jesus, Joshua. I wish you disappear like Jesus, Joshua. I wish you make your bed like Jesus, Joshua. Okay, so anyway, I just like knew he had it in. I just knew that's what it was. So when I got up, I told the story. I was like, yeah, I was in the car with my friend being like, I really want to talk about like how I grew up with like a Haitian nanny, but I can't do a Haitian accent. And then I turned to the boy and I said, hey, little Jew boy. Again, I can say that because I'm Jewish. I go, hey, little Jew boy, can I ask you a question? Did you have a Jamaican nanny growing up? And he goes, with his like big like bar mitzvah watch or whatever, he goes, yeah. I go, oh, and then the whole crowd starts like the 20 weird creepy comics all start laughing. And I was like, yeah, I just knew because like you seem so passionate about doing that Jamaican accent, which like, you know, really reminded me of when I was so passionate about doing my nanny's Haitian accent. So yeah, I've been writing like a lot of jokes about, I guess, growing up with like a nanny. I actually thought of something today. I said that like me and my Haitian nanny were very close. We even got braces the same time. I said lower voice. Oh, okay, let's talk about moms. How long have I been recording for? I don't know. But it says I have no battery. Whatever. So, sing a song. Okay, so me and my mom have been getting into like so many fights, and I feel like that's a very common thing. Okay, but what I like to do now is when she calls me up, I like to, when she tells me all the stuff I don't want to hear and I know is going to make me go from like a 0 to a 10, what I do is I just turn the volume down. And it's actually been helping a lot because I'll hear like parts of what I probably don't even already want to hear. But I was like driving to get acupuncture, which I'll tell you about in a second because that's a weird story. I'm driving to get acupuncture, and the day before I had like blown up at her because she had said something to me, and then I blew up at her and she blew up at me, and then I call her in the car, and then I go hello, and she goes hi. Now, if you know anything about my mom, a Jewish mom, doing this silent treatment is so funny that she's doing it to me because it is like she's never been silent in your life, and now you're gonna play this like silent person. Like she literally, when she said hello, there was like laughter because I know she's playing this role that she could like never do. And she goes hello, I go hi, and she goes, I didn't like the way you spoke to me. And then what I do is I just lower the voice, lower the sound. So that in between her like telling me all the things she didn't like about me, about the fight from yesterday, I just heard, I will not be treated. I am too old for. If you do this, what? I have been nothing but. I will not be giving. And honestly, it like really helps my emotional state. Because if I knew everything she said, I would have hung up and blown up. But then afterwards, she goes, all right, well, thank you for listening. And I go, yes, I'm sorry. Now, she probably wasn't lowering the sound when she said sorry. She probably was like upping it. She's like, what? I was like, I'm sorry. But anyway, so once we got over the fight, I said to my mom, who is like a true, like Upper East Side woman. What I mean by that is she's really, like, she's not really, like, you know what I mean? Like, she still is very, like, old school in the sense of, like, her and my dad's relationship. Like, my dad, makes more money financially, and whenever my mom made money, she would just, like, hide the money from him in her cash drawer, which was, like, in her jewelry drawer, which was underneath all the jewelry that my dad had bought her. And then I was, like, but then when she stopped working, she just started stealing my dad's money, but cash, and putting it back in her cash drawer. So I think mentally she thought that was, like, okay. So that's kind of her. Okay, and another time, like, one time there was, like, a water outage in our building, and she thought it was from, like, an oil spill that happened that year in, like, 2007. Okay, so she's like, oh, the water doesn't work because there's, like, there's a water spill in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm like, yeah, it's also why I can't pick up the phone when you call because of, what's happening in Haiti, But anyway, so she's just like really out of it. But I wanted to test her because I think it's funny to test a parent who's out of it. And so I go to her, I go, did you hear inflation's up? She goes, what? I go, yeah, the past 4 years, I go, yeah, the inflation has gone up more in the past 4 years than in the past 25 years. And she goes, this is what she goes, huh, huh. That huh was like the least, that huh was so far from, what she's saying is like, this is so, I'm so unaffected by this. Why are you telling me? Huh, huh. You know what I mean? I was telling, as if I was telling her like a tsunami happened in Thailand. And she's like, huh, okay, why are you telling me? So unaffected by it. And I go to her, and I keep going with her. I go, yeah, you haven't noticed? Like, like when you go out to eat, prices are more. When you do takeout. She goes, no, no, haven't noticed. No, haven't noticed. Not like, oh, that must be hard for people. Now that I think about it, taking out used to be $100. Now it's $200 in the city. So, like, unaffected by anything. But if I was to tell her, oh, you know, what's his name from like Greece is doing like a fourth movie, she'd be like, oh. She's just so, truly so unaffected by inflation. I don't even know if she knows like how much milk is, how much like bread is. I mean, I don't even think she like sees numbers the same way you and me see numbers. You know what I mean? Like, when you go on an Uber and you're like, oh my God, it jumped from like 25 to 28. Even that's like kind of annoying, right? Or like 26. Okay, let's do a bigger jump. 26 to 36. That's like a big jump. You're like, do I really need to take an Uber? I'm telling you, my mom doesn't see numbers. She is like, there's like, I don't know if she's like dyslexic with numbers. She's like blind to prices. When she sees the dollar sign, she doesn't think it's prices. She just thinks it's like an extra little like design they happen to have. She's like, huh, pretty design, huh? It's going up. You know what I mean? She's so unaffected by it. Okay. Now, let's talk about acupuncture. Now, I have started to go to acupuncture because I was having like really bad PMS cramping. Now I don't want to tell the whole story. It started like a year ago. Okay? It started like guys, I need a haircut. But haircuts are like expensive. It's too much. This hair is too much. It's just too much. It's probably how my mom feels about like her money. She's like, that's just too much. What am I gonna do? I don't know. It's too much. But yeah, so I've been going to acupuncture because I've been having really bad PMS cramps, and my friend who had bad PMS cramps, they told her, she went to the acupuncturist, okay? And now at some point they told me they thought I might have had this thing called like endometriosis. It's where like lesions, I don't know, you want to talk about it? Because I don't think I have it. Hold on. I know. I got the sound bolt to heal myself. I know I don't. Okay, that was just in the mindset you had of Tori Piskin. That's how nuts I am, okay? So, they thought when I went to a doctor, because I was having such horrible cramps, not even during my period, like leading up to it, they thought I had this thing called endometriosis. Okay, and I'll never forget when I went to, when I was like, at one point, like when it was bad, like a year and a half ago, they told me I need to get physical therapy. I think it's saying too hot. Thank you. They said I needed to get physical therapy down there, but all the places didn't take insurance, so they were like $300 to basically do something like I can make a man do for free just by looking at him. Instead, I got this like northeastern girl who got like a degree in it while doing it to me and then telling me how her favorite Adam Sandler movie is Billy Madison. Okay, so I don't need to pay someone to do that. I just get a guy to do that. I don't know. Is it too hot? But it's saying recording. Anyway, so when I called different, so I had like a list of PT places for down there, and I found this one place that was like an hour and a half away, and I was like, okay, this place is probably like cheaper because it's not like in Los Angeles. And when I called, this black woman picked up, and I go, hi, do you deal with people here who have endometriosis? And she just goes, endo what? I go, endometriosis. She goes, oh we deal with people here who got endometriosis. Like the way she said, I don't know, the way she said, yeah, we deal with people here who got the endometriosis. I understand what I think, because the wording is endometriosis. It can get lost in your tongue, just like women do in the healthcare system. You know, endometriosis. We don't care about you. So I think she's like, yeah, we deal with people here who got endometriosis. Like, I guess she was really trying with the pronunciation. So anyway, that really made me laugh. I didn't end up getting the PT thing because everything went away. But this month it's been back. So I went to an acupuncturist my friend went to, and acupuncture is also like really expensive. It's like $150 to put like needles all over me, and then I get this like special tea that like gets rid of. I was gonna say gets rid of inflation. I think I'm making inflation worse by buying expensive tea. That's like $50 a week. Like it's like basically $200 a week. Like it's so expensive. Okay, which is I go, yeah, I'm laying down, and the guy goes to me. He was like, oh, like the first. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Apparently, it was like too hot. Jeez, I mean, I know I put makeup on and wore this cute little like tropical top, but jeez, it's too hot. Anyway, so I'm at the acupuncturist, and he looked, and he's like, okay, like, kind of like half, he's like half very Chinese, but also like very like LA, like, he's almost like artsy. Like, I don't know if you live now, like Silver Lakey in New York, like Bushwicky, like, you can't really like truly like figure him out. And he comes out wearing like a like traditional Chinese shirt, you know, the ones with like that's like silk, but it also like it looks like it could be like $300 or like $5, and it's like green and it's short sleeves, and he's got like those like little Chinese buttons. You guys know the shirt I'm talking about. Like, you definitely know the shirt I'm talking about. And he comes in and he just goes, hi, and he has like gray hair, but he looks like really tan. Like, he spends a lot of time outside, probably because I give him so much money because of my pain that he gets to have probably a house in Malibu. So he comes in and he's like, hello, what can I do for you? Hello? What can I do? How are you, Tori? Wait, let me, trying to get my accents back. I'm doing the accents. You guys are going to like it or not. He's like, how are your cramps today? Okay, that's it. How are your cramps today? And I was like, oh, they're okay. And I tell him like the whole story. He goes, I have to say, you have very beautiful hair. And I go, oh, thank you. I go, yeah, I didn't come here because, you know, I'm losing my hair. That's not my issue. He goes, I see. Okay, doesn't get the joke. All right, so now doesn't get the joke, but I'm trusting this guy to put needles all over me. Okay, and then at one point he goes, now let me ask you a very personal question. Let me ask you a very personal question. I always feel like he feels like he's doing like one of those ads on YouTube to like convince me to buy some like neuron beats to help me like, you know, get like more like manifestation in life. He's like, let me ask you a question. Have you noticed your luck is not working? Nobody asks you. So he's sitting there as he's poking little needles, and he goes, let me ask you a very personal question. When you have sex, do you feel better? Now, if I came to acupuncture for a headache, this will be a very strange question, right? But I but I'm obviously there for PMS cramps. So I'm like, okay, I think this is okay. But the whole time it's just like borderline, like, is this creepy? Is this normal? But it's weird when you like see a doctor, a male doctor for a gynecological issue, because the whole time you're just like, even though I know you're a doctor, well, an herbalist, like the whole time it's just so awkward because I'm like, okay, like I know he's a doctor, but these are also like very uncomfortable questions. Look at me, I'm literally uncomfortable. He goes, and he again, okay, yesterday I went to him yesterday for like the 5th time. Again, he's poking needles. He goes, I seriously can't get over your hair. You have the most amazing hair. And I'm like, oh, thank you. It's very, I'm telling you, it's getting really weird. And I said to him, I was like, do you notice that redheads are like more sensitive? And he goes, I don't mean to stereotype, but yes, redheads are definitely more sensitive. I'm like, but he goes, but, and then this is where it got creepy. He goes, but they're such beautiful people. Everyone, he goes, no, sorry. He goes, but they're such beautiful people. You are so beautiful. Now, okay, first consultation, he tells me I'm beautiful. Fine, thank you. He probably tells everyone that. Okay, totally fine. But now we've known each other 6 times. I mean, you don't have to keep telling me it. I mean, listen, I love compliments. I really do. I love attention. Okay? But the 6th time, he's like, you are so beautiful. And it's just strange, especially when he's like putting needles in my stomach. I'm just like, am I one of those like, am I, you know, when he's putting the needles in me, I'm like, am I one of those like voodoo dolls? And did he used to date a redhead and he's actually just trying to like hurt me the whole time? Because lately after I've left acupuncture, I feel like my cramps have gotten worse. So I'm like, am I his like voodoo doll of his ex-girlfriend? So that's what's going on there. But okay, I feel like I have to go. But this has been fun. Please leave a comment if you like this. I think I'm gonna start doing these like more, because why not? I have nothing else to do, right? Anyway, like now I'm thinking I might also put this on YouTube, but if I put this on YouTube, is the acupuncturist gonna see this? I don't know. I need to give him like a fake name. Okay. That's all from now. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. I think you guys are subscribed.